Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm going to do a closed reading on When the Monkeys Came Back. I chose this book because we're getting ready to start our spring study of trees, and this text is one that's kind of hard to understand, so I thought for my younger listeners, not readers, but listeners, it would be a really good tool to help them understand what the author's thinking and his purposes for writing the book. It's got a Lexile range of 650. So, we're going to begin with the title. When the Monkeys Came Back. When I think about the title, When the Monkeys Came Back, I think the author is trying to tell us that maybe the monkeys were there, but then they left, because he says, when the monkeys came back. And in order for them to come back, we must think, they weren't there. When I open up to the first page, I learn about a character named Doña Marta. And when she was a little girl, it talks about there was an old road in the valley, but it was an ox cart road, an open place for meeting friends or cousins, a nice place for walking, a sunny place for catching lizards. When I think about a road now, are those things I could do on a road? I don't think I would catch lizards on a road, and I don't think I would meet with my friends on a road. In a road today, we think about cars going back and forth and a way to get to and from places. And we also learn that there weren't any cars at all. I wonder why the author's explaining this road to us. When we turn to the next page, we see every morning and every evening, for as long as anyone could remember, the monkeys announced the changing of night into day, the changing of day into night. So now we know that the monkeys had a job. They used to let everyone know when it was morning time and it was time to do their work, and when it was evening time and it was time to finish their work. It says at dusk they would hoot and scream, and each leaf and each blade of grass would tremble from the sound. Ooh, tremble. I wonder. I think that would make me kind of afraid, but it would also let me know that my day was done. This is important. In this picture, we see a car. And then we see Doña Marta, and she doesn't look very happy. One day, a car chugged and spluttered up the old road. But wait a minute, didn't the author say that car or that road wasn't for cars? After that, more cars came. Not many at first, for the road was an ox road, not a car road. So the author reminds us that the road wasn't for cars, but now there's cars coming up and down it. Do you think the author's trying to tell us that the cars might have something to do with the monkeys? Let's see. If we look at this page, look what we see. We see men using big, long, sharp objects, and they're making cuts in the trees. They're cutting trees down. That can't be good for the monkeys. At first it was just a few trees. The lumbermen cut down only the biggest trees, the ones with hanging vines. The monkeys didn't seem to mind. So now we know that the cars have brought the lumbermen, and the lumbermen are cutting down the trees. And at first the monkeys don't seem to mind. But then 5 years later, when there were only 24 trees left in the forest, the monkeys went away. So now we know that the cars brought the lumbermen cut the trees down, and now the monkeys are going away. The monkeys had a job to do. They were supposed to let everyone know how to wake up. What do you think is going to happen? How do you think the author's going to let us know? Marta didn't know where the monkeys went. One night, just as the sun slipped behind the hills, the monkeys shrieked and hooted and cried louder than ever before. Some said it was because of full moon. Others said the rainy season was near. But the next morning, the valley was silent as stone. That means the monkeys have gone, and no one knew how to get up or what time to get up because the monkeys weren't there to do their job. It also says most people forgot about the monkeys. They had roosters to wake them up in the morning, lamps to work by at night, but Marta didn't forget. So Marta must be important because the author keeps talking about Marta and her feelings about the monkeys going away. I wonder what Marta's going to do. Then we go on to find out. Look what she's doing. Marta decides to plant trees. It says, "What are you going to do on your land?" asked Emilio. "I'm going to bring back the forest," said Marta, and that is what she did. So we know that Marta brings back the monkeys. And at the end, we see every morning now, old Doña Marta wakes up to the barking and scolding of the monkeys. So because Marta decided to plant the trees, the monkeys came back and did their job. So it was very important for the author for us to know what the monkeys did.